Lego freight train, and I will show you all three cars, well, two cars and one locomotive, and then I'll go through them individually. So there's the locomotive, and over here is just a container car that also has a crane, and on the last car there is a car actually, and another container and a barrel. So I will start by showing you the locomotive. Just take these other ones off the tracks. So here's the locomotive, and I'm a little bit upset because I ran out of red pieces for this paneling here, but other than that, I like the way it turned out, especially because in the past I really didn't know how to get the train look, but this time I think I did a good job. Well, at least a much better job than I used to. So I'll get some close-ups of this. So here's the front of it, and yeah, I got that kind of, I used these angled pieces to get the look I wanted on the front, and in the back I actually did this to give the simulation that there's a door here, even though this doesn't actually open. It looked pretty cool. So a lot of these pieces actually came from the Santa Fe set from a really long time ago, like 5 or 6 years or something ago. And so yeah, also I can remove the side paneling, and that's the diesel engine in there. Kind of a similar effect as the Maersk train that you can buy from Lego. So that one also has side panels which you can remove. I can also take off the roof of the cab, and there is the driver of the train. And yeah, so that takes care of the locomotive. Onto the second car, or the first car, and I'll move the camera a little bit closer because I also need to be able to use my hands, both hands, for this one. So yeah, so as you can see, it's a car, and it has containers. So this is the crane, and let me move this out of the way. This thing right here that I'm moving, when I have that there so that when you put it up, it keeps this from moving around while the train is in motion. I have to say probably the worst thing about this is the fact that the balance of the train cars is not very good. So when I even if I'm holding a container and I stick it out like this, then the entire car will just fall over, which is kind of pathetic, but oh well. So the crane has an adjustable arm, and it also has a string that leads to this hook over here, and so it can pick up the containers. So let's see if I can get this action. So I'll just go ahead and lower the hook. It doesn't really lower by itself unless there's something attached, because the hook isn't heavy enough to drag down the string. Mostly that's because I use all of these small pieces to keep the string and going in one direction so that it doesn't, you know, get all over the place. Because the worst thing that can happen is if the string gets tangled, and then it's completely unusable. So now if I pull the string, it should lift up this crate, hopefully. It's a little bit stuck. Oh, there we go. It was just stuck. And so yeah. And yeah, you can already see how this is kind of leaning out, even though I just put that a tiny bit out. If I move the arm even just a little bit more this way, the whole thing will probably just topple over. So and then I can put this down actually, like that. And you know, you can just do this to kind of load a truck or something that has similar areas for attaching the crates. And the crates just, they aren't attached on, they just go on these smooth pieces. And I can show you how that works. Just take this. So yeah, there's just these little areas, and each of the crates has this 2x4 on it, and that just keeps the crate from going back and forth, but nothing actually attaches them, so they're pretty easy to remove even with the crane. So the third car actually also kind of needs the crane too, except I don't know how well the crane fares with picking up the automobile, since it's so heavy. You know, even compared to those crates, it's a lot heavier than those crates. So let me bring the second car onto the tracks. So on this one, we have let me just move a little bit closer. We have another crate, you know, same mechanism for removal. This one just says, I don't know, containers in it or something. And then a barrel over here. And now this is pretty cool. I was inspired to make this kind of cage thing. I'll show you what this does, the cage. From a Lego catalog that had that remote controlled freight train, and I remember seeing, you know, part of the freight train had a crane actually, and a car, and a special cage-like thing that could attach to the crane for picking up and removing the car. And I used the same kind of technique. The cage isn't the same as the one that I saw in that catalog, but same sort of idea. I was really inspired by that a long time ago. So basically what this does is these can just go like that. And basically what these little pieces do is they go into the indent in the rim of the wheel, and they just lock into those. And if I put this down again, move the camera a little, show you how this works. So basically all it does is you just put it down by the wheels, and you move those arms back into place, and then it locks into the wheels. See, so I can even hold it upside down and everything. And this works for basically any car that has standard wheelbase. So I'll show you another car too. This is another MOC of mine, and you know, same wheelbase. So you can just pick this up. So it's a pretty nifty mechanism, because you know, it doesn't just work for one car, it works for several. And so actually the crane attaches to it right here, but it's pretty heavy, so yeah, the crane can put this in here, right over here if I zoom in. Let's see if I can show you the piece that it attaches to. So that little gray piece at the very end of the arm attaches to this, so I can do that. And as you can see on the arm, actually I used two arms actually, which I interconnected, because if I hadn't done that, then the arm would be too weak to even hold the cage. You know, before I only had one arm on it, and all it could do was lift the crates, and that even didn't work that well. I don't think it can hold the car. I'll try one last time in this video to see if the arm can hold the car, but I really doubt it, because it can just barely hold the cage. So let me just remove this and put the car in. Alright, put this back on, and let's see what happens. I'll try and lift this a little bit more so that and nope, no luck. So yeah, unfortunately compatibility wasn't the absolute best with this model. So yeah, oh well, it's too bad that didn't work, but you know, I don't mind too much when I make my MOCs. I'm really looking for aesthetics, not for I'm not really looking to make like super crazy things that can like do really awesome stuff, because I don't really play with my Legos that much. You know, I don't like do what we did when we were all kids with Legos and, you know, drive around the cars and make accidents and all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, I guess I don't mind that much. You know, I'm already really happy with the way that the arm turned out with the crates. I think that worked really well. So I guess I'm pretty happy with the way all of this turned out. So yeah, this is gonna make a nice touch to my city. This is actually gonna be the only MOC train. I have, let me count, I have 3 trains and 1 tram on the rails, so including this one. So I guess this will be the only one that's my own creation. All the other ones are sets. So yep, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe.